Everyone believed these ancient stones held the secrets of prehistoric life. They were catastrophically wrong. In the early 18th century, a time of profound scientific awakening, the very earth beneath our feet was beginning to surrender its ancient secrets. Fossils, those stony whispers from a forgotten past, were the ultimate prize, promising to unlock the mysteries of life before man. This era, bristling with intellectual curiosity, also presented fertile ground for deception. The lines between genuine discovery and outright fabrication could blur, especially when ambition and reputation were at stake. Enter Johann Beringer, a professor of medicine at the University of Würzburg, Germany. A polymath with a keen interest in natural history, Beringer was a respected figure, a man whose academic standing seemed beyond reproach. But beneath this veneer of scholarly integrity, a storm of intrigue was brewing, one that would soon ensnare Beringer himself, turning him from a respected academic into the unwitting victim of a cruel, elaborate hoax. The year was 1725. Rumors began to circulate among the local villagers that strange stones were being unearthed on the slopes of Eibelstadt Mountain just outside Würzburg. These weren't just any stones, they bore peculiar markings unlike anything seen before. Beringer, hearing these tales, was naturally intrigued. He dispatched 3 young assistants, Christian Zanger, Niklaus Hain, and Wenzel Zenger, to investigate. What they returned with would ignite a scientific firestorm. The stones were extraordinary. They depicted not only common fossils like shells and insects, but also astonishingly clear images of spiders, frogs, and even lizards. Some even seemed to bear Hebrew letters, symbols, and what looked like celestial bodies. Beringer was captivated. These were not mere imprints. They appeared to be actual creatures, perfectly preserved within the rock. To him, they represented a profound new chapter in understanding the Earth's history. He theorized that these were figured stones or lapis figuralis, not actual organic remains, but rather divine creations, formed by God's hand as playful experiments or perhaps as a test of faith before the creation of life itself. This interpretation, while unusual to modern ears, was not entirely out of step with early 18th century scientific thought, which still heavily intertwined natural philosophy with theological explanations. Beringer, convinced of the authenticity and significance of these finds, embarked on an ambitious project. He would publish a lavish, illustrated volume documenting every single one of these miraculous stones. His assistants, meanwhile, continued their relentless digging, unearthing more and more fantastical specimens. The sheer volume and variety seemed to confirm Beringer's initial excitement. But there were others in Würzburg, academics who harbored intense professional rivalries with Beringer. 2 individuals in particular, J. Ignaz Roderick and Georg von Eckhart, watched his growing collection with a mixture of envy and suspicion. These rivals, it transpired, were the true architects of the deception. They had secretly been paying Beringer's assistants to carve the bizarre fossils from local limestone and plant them on Eibelstadt Mountain. Their motive was simple: to humiliate Beringer, to destroy his academic reputation, and perhaps even to force him from his prestigious position. It was a cruel, calculated plot, executed with meticulous precision. As Beringer prepared his monumental work, he began to notice anomalies. A stone bearing his own initial, J.B., seemed too perfect, too convenient. Doubt, like a creeping shadow, began to fall over his conviction. Then came the ultimate discovery: a stone with an image of a star, and below it an inscription. It read, in Hebrew, God Jehovah. This was too much, even for Beringer. The divine intervention theory crumbled. He confronted his assistants, who eventually confessed to the elaborate scheme, implicating Roderick and Eckhart. The revelation must have been devastating, a complete betrayal of his trust and intellect. Beringer, now fully aware of the deception, tried desperately to recall all copies of his nearly finished book, the Lithographiae Würzburgensis. But it was too late. Some had already been distributed. The scandal erupted. Roderick and Eckhart were brought to trial, though the outcome was complex and inconclusive. Beringer himself became a figure of ridicule, his name synonymous with gullibility. He spent the rest of his life trying to clear his name, even publishing a second edition of his book, meticulously detailing the fraud. Yet, the damage was done. His career, though not entirely destroyed, was forever tainted. The lying stones of Wuersburg, as they became known, serve as a potent reminder. Even in the pursuit of knowledge, human nature, with its rivalries, ambitions, and capacity for malice, can cast a long, distorting shadow. The story of Beringer isn't just about a scientific hoax. It's a cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked ambition, the destructive power of professional jealousy, and the vulnerability of even the most astute minds to elaborate deception. It stands as a testament to the fact that while the earth may hold genuine wonders, sometimes the greatest deceptions are not found in the stones themselves, but in the hearts and minds of men. Uncover more intricate deceptions and the minds behind them by subscribing to our channel.